Welcome inside the Fantasy Sports Network studios. I'm Hannah Nordman for Hot Roster Now. Believe it or not, we're into the month of February, meaning just like NBA and NHL teams themselves, you may need to start making some moves if you want to make a successful playoff push. And the waiver wire is always my favorite place to start. So let's take a look at some of your options. The Minnesota Wild have been so offensively strong this year, it's always surprising to me when I find one of their forwards readily available on the wire. But it does make a little bit of sense. I'm not really ready to associate the Wild with goals, and it's that kind of thinking that can help you out, with Jason Zucker available in 50% of leagues. He's got 2 goals, 4 assists, and a +6 rating over the course of his 4-game point streak. And playing on a line with Mikko Koivu and Michael Granlund will keep him consistent. The Wild have 4 games this week, so now is the time to pick him up. Another central player with dual wing eligibility and a heavy schedule this week is Victor Arvidsson. Nashville has 4 games this week, and he's been on fire lately. On the top line with Ryan Johansson and Philip Forsberg, he scored 3 goals and added 4 assists in his last 8 games. Owned in less than 40% of leagues, this should be another big week for him. My NHL picks seem to have a theme this week. My third and final Central Division forward hitting the ice 4 times this week is none other than the Blues top-line center, Paul Stastny. Owned in just a third of leagues, Stastny's got 14 goals and 32 points in 51 games this season, including 14 in his last 15 games. The entire team could benefit from their coaching change-up last week, so grab him before people catch on. Alternatively, if you're in tough for a goalie, Jimmy Howard is on the verge of returning. Out for the past 2 months with a knee injury, the rust factor is real. He allowed 5 goals on 29 shots in his first AHL conditioning start in Grand Rapids, but before the injury, he was rocking a 1.96 goals against average and a .934 save percentage in 17 games. So keep an eye out on the rest of his conditioning if you're in need. Over to the NBA, a hand injury kept Robert Covington out of the lineup for 3 games, but he made his return Monday against the Pistons with 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals. It's not his normal production considering his top 40 value over the last month, as he's averaged 13.9 points, 2.3 triples, 6.9 boards, 2 assists, and 2 steals per game. His multi-category appeal should have him way above his 47% ownership. Here's one last quirky one. After being cut by the Brooklyn Nets earlier this year, Yogi Ferrell signed a 10-day contract with the Mavericks at the end of January. The Mavs won all 4 games that he played in, and he averaged 17.8 points and 5 assists as their starting point guard. The kid knows how to take advantage of a good situation. Highlights include 4 steals against the Cavs and 9 of 11 shooting beyond the arc versus Portland, dropping 32 points total that night. He's expected to sign a 2-year deal with Dallas on Tuesday, so get him while he's hot. That's it for today, folks. For those of you who don't know what Hot Roster is, check it out. Go to HotRoster.com, download the app, give it a try. It's like no other fantasy game you've ever played. And then for help winning the game, check out Hot Roster today with Cam Stewart and Gary and Thorne every weekday at 4:30 Eastern, only on the Fantasy Sports Network. For Hot Roster Now, I'm Hannah Nordman.